Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Diablo 3 Basics. Today we're going to talk about mob affixes, what they are and how they affect you while you play. So mobs, they have their innate set of abilities. This could be just to melee you, or they could be summoner mobs where they cast small minions to aid them in combat. But sometimes mobs have extra abilities not typically granted to them, and this typically happens when they are champion mobs, the blue colored ones, or elite mobs, the yellow colored ones. And we know what abilities they get from the affixes they have. You can see what affix they have by mousing over them, and at the top of the screen there's their health bar, and under it it'll say like teleporter or knockback. And the teleporter / knockback is an affix. It describes the ability they gain, and it pretty much is self-explanatory in most circumstances. Like teleporter allows mobs to teleport, knockback allows the mobs to knock you back and slow you. Some are a little bit less clear, like desecrator. If it has that affix, well, you can't really tell what that is right away unless you know what that is. Well, that, for example, drops a little void zone under you. So as you can tell, there are a whole bunch of different properties mobs can have, and some affixes aren't seen early levels. Like in the beta, if you played the open beta or watched a lot of the footage, you don't see that many affixes. You only see like teleporter, knockback, night march, to name a few. That's because more affixes become available at higher levels. For example, you can see here that some affixes don't open up until level 22, level 31. In addition, not all affixes can be on all types of mobs. Sometimes they can only be on champion mobs, or they can only be on the rare mobs, or sometimes the affix can be on either champions or rare mobs. And there's some more interesting things that happen with affixes. Well, early on, you only see one affix, but as you progress through the game, you're going to see multiple affixes. And this makes the mobs more and more difficult. I mean, obviously, as you're increasing through the game, that's what you would expect to see. So you could have even up to like 4 affixes, and it could like teleport and knock you back and things like that. So it's pretty interesting. Like in Diablo 2, we learned that there's some affixes you wanted to stay away from. Early on in the game, you wanted to stay away from this multi-shot lightning-enhanced mobs, because when you hit them, it shot out like tons of lightning bolts and hurt you really bad. And so you knew if you were a melee character, you did not just want to go up there and melee you because you died in like 1 second. And the same will probably be the case with Diablo 3. There'll be some affixes where you have to be very wary and want to stay away from. So before we hop into some other things, I want to show you a little bit of footage from the beta of some affixes you typically don't see. So the first affix I want to show you is Vortex. Now this affix allows the mob to suck you in every few seconds and brings you to their location, which is pretty cool, I guess. Just in case it's like a hard-hitting mob, it sucks you in and beats on you. The next one is Jailer. This one randomly casts a Jailer effect, which roots you in place for 2 seconds. You can attack and do whatever you want while in that place, but you just can't move. One thing to note is that monks can dash and strike, which kind of, I guess, teleports their Jailer properties with them, because once they get to their new location, they can't move. But other classes like Barb and Wizard or Demon Hunter, you can't teleport, you can't leap, you can't vault. So the only one who can move is a monk. Pretty interesting to know if you're a monk. The last one I want to show you real quick is Molten. The mobs leave a fiery trail that stacks for each trail you're standing on, which can be quite deadly, and the damage can add up a lot, as in higher difficulties the damage will be increased. And when you kill the mob, they explode for fire damage. So just imagine having a Vortex Jailer Molten. You're running away, the Vortex sucks you in on top of all their Molten pass, and you get jailed right on top of it. That could be pretty deadly. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Diablo 3 Basics, and you have a better understanding how mob affixes work. And I will hopefully give you tips, tricks, and strategy guides for how to beat certain affixes once we get to them. And as always, thanks for watching this episode of Diablo 3 Basics.